The Diddy case isn't about Diddy. It never is about who they say it is. It never was. Just like the Bernie Madoff case wasn't about Bernie. Just like the Jeffrey Epstein case wasn't about Epstein. Just like the Cosby case wasn't about Cosby. Just like the R. Kelly case wasn't about R. Kelly. Just like the Diddy case isn't about Diddy. It's never about the man. It's about the mind. It's about the projection of guilt onto a body so that guilt can appear to have a home in form. And the ego can avoid looking within. Every courtroom is a cathedral to projection. A theater stage with the ego in every seat. And when the house lights dim and the prosecutor rises, what you're watching isn't a trial of facts. It's the dream putting the dream on trial, hoping you won't notice that the judge, the jury, and the accused are all the same voice. The ego always demands a body be blamed and punished and exiled. Because if it's the body's fault, then it isn't the mind's. And if it isn't the mind's fault, then you get to keep the dream. You get to keep pretending that guilt lives out there. You get to keep pretending that sin has a face and a name and a street address. You get to keep hating without questioning who is doing the hating. But guilt has no location, and sin has no weight. It's all smoke in a mirror. A fantasy projected outward from a mind too terrified to admit, I made this. The ego calls it justice, but it's just Plato's cave all over again. Do you remember that parable? Not Plato's closet, the resale shop. Plato's cave, where prisoners sit chained in the dark watching shadows dance on the wall, believing they're real, believing the puppet show is truth. And when one prisoner escapes, sees the light outside the cave and returns to tell the others, they call him mad. They cling to the wall. They say, don't you dare take away my shadows. That's what these cases are. The Diddy case, the Epstein case, the Madoff case, they're the wall. They're the projected nightmare. So you won't wake up and see where the light's actually coming from. And the ego is smart. It says, focus on him. Look what he did. It gives you video footage, audio clips, lawsuits, salacious details. All to distract from the real question. Who's watching this story and why? The ego runs a spiritual Ponzi scheme. It says there's a villain over there and a victim over here, and that you are innocent for watching. But the truth is, the moment you condemn anyone, you're back in chains. Because what you condemn in them, you secretly fear in yourself. This fear is not random. It's rooted in something deeper than personal shame. It's ontological guilt. The guilt of believing you separated from God and did the impossible. It's like a child who thinks they've burned down their father's house and now spends their life hiding under the covers, even though the house was never touched. That's ontological guilt, the original terror behind all projection. And the courtroom is just a place where the ego tries to burn someone else in its place. But God has never condemned Diddy. And if God hasn't condemned him, who are you to do so? There's no real justice in the courtroom of form. There is only the repeating loop of guilt, punishment, and exile. Until someone says, what if this whole trial is the lie? What if Diddy is the screen, and guilt is the film, and you're the projector? What if the mind is the courtroom, and the ego is the judge who always finds someone guilty? What if every person who gets crucified in public is another chance to wake up and say, that's not them, that's my unhealed mind. You are not trapped in that courtroom. The door is wide open. You have a decision-making mind. You can choose again. You can choose to see through the eyes of Christ. You can choose to see with innocence. You can lay down your gavel. You can pardon the world and set yourself free. Because there's only one of us. And God's Son is not on trial. Not now. Not ever.